I finally picked up some additional controllers for my Taito Egret 2 mini arcade console. Gotta love Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals on Amazon. Hell, what I'm about to show you is still on sale today on Amazon. I'll have links in the video description below. These additional controllers are for this Taito Egret 2 mini arcade console. This console I refused to buy when it originally came out because they sell for like 230 bucks. But when it was finally on sale for like 160 bucks, I finally picked one up and I was very, very impressed with it overall. You have an awesome rotating screen mechanism. You can rotate on the fly. You have an absolutely beautiful screen on it. It's a nice size mini arcade console. It's actually fun to play on the console itself. Really good sound system, but one of my biggest complaints I've noticed over the years is, as you see here in these camera shots, is when you're playing on this console, well, unfortunately, it wobbles, just like a lot of desktop mini tabletop consoles. It does have HDMI out capabilities, so you can plug this thing into a TV. But if you're going to plug it into a TV and play these games on the TV, all 40 Taito games, well, you're probably going to want a better controller solution, and I finally picked these up. Reason why? They're on sale. Here's the actual controller. Now, what's interesting about this is this controller is usually like 35 bucks. It's on sale for like 25 bucks right now. Went ahead and I ordered one, picked it up, and when I took it out of the box, at first I was like, oh geez, this thing weighs like a feather. I wonder if the build quality is going to be there. How does it feel? It's comfortable to hold. It's got some nice ridges on the back, nice little humps. The D-pad itself is a little stiff. The buttons feel pretty good. I mean, they feel pretty good. I wasn't super impressed with this control pad just right out of the box, but we'll get more to that later. But here's the actual arcade control panel. This box is a monster, and it's got a good weight to it. In fact, when I opened this thing up and had to pull this thing out, I was like, holy crap, this thing's actually heavy. And I don't know why, but that kind of gives you hope. Again, another boring instruction booklet in 1,000 different languages if you need it. But I gotta tell you, man, I was super pumped when I took this thing out of the little wrapper here and actually felt it in my hands. I was like, wow, this thing feels good in it, and it looks good. And it's got really decent arcade buttons on it, as well as you have you have a really decent joystick. You could hear the buttons, you could hear the micro switches. It's so cool. Again, I was very late in reviewing the mini arcade console itself because I just refused to pay that price, over 230 bucks for Taito games. I just didn't feel it was worth it. I didn't buy it until it was on sale. Also, all their controllers overpriced in my opinion. But if you can get them on a deal like I did these, man, it's killer. It's pretty killer. And check this out, man. The arcade control panel actually has the 4-way, 8-way gate switcher, just like the arcade mini console, which is really cool that they carried that over to this accessory. That way, if you're playing 4-way, 8-way games, you could just flip that toggle on the back on the fly, and you could play the way it's meant to be played and have a better experience versus some other emulation consoles out there where you're playing with the wrong gates, wrong joystick, etc. I mean, they usually sell this arcade stick for 90 bucks. It's on sale for 70. I'll have a link to my original Taito Egret 2 video in the video description below if you need a full review of the console, but there's USB and HDMI ports on the back. All you gotta do is plug in these wired controllers in, and boom, they're up and running. Couldn't be simpler. Now we get to the fun part where we actually get to test out these controllers. Now we're gonna show you both controllers just playing on the mini console as well as on a TV. We're going to have a TV up here, and we're going to show that as well. I can tell you one thing. I was actually, although I didn't like the feeling of this Taito control pad, the smaller control pad, I didn't like the feeling when I first held it out of the box and the weight and the D-pad and stuff. When I actually started using it, everything's dialed in, and it works. No complaints. It works very well. I mean, are you actually going to use this control pad when you're playing on the console itself? Probably not. Probably you're going to use this if you actually have the console plugged into a gaming monitor, a television, another monitor, etc. That's probably when you're actually going to want to use this. I mean, the size of this control pad is pretty much the same size and width as the actual arcade control panel that's built onto the mini console. So I would only purchase this if you plan on playing this console elsewhere. I think the one that really shines here is this actual arcade fight stick, control panel, whatever you want to call it. Let's just say, for instance, you got big hands, big fingers. It's tough to play on the actual console itself, and you want to be able to play the games on the console itself. Well, this fight stick works perfect for that, as you can see here. Very comfortable to play and check out these games, and it works very, very well. The buttons and the joystick all feel very, very good. good performance, good response time. So I actually think even if you want to play your console on another TV or monitor or play it on the console itself, I think that this is probably the best way to go versus the handheld gamepad, in my opinion. All right, let's check these things out playing this plugged into a TV. Is it going to be a good experience? All right, let's check out the actual arcade stick here. I'm super excited about this one versus the handheld gamepad. Oh my god, I had so much fun testing these out, both the little mini gamepad controller as well as the actual arcade stick control panel. These are awesome accessories for your Taito Egret Mini 2. I'm very impressed with what they did, and I'm just not impressed with the prices, but while these things are on sale, now's the time to buy them, in my opinion, if you haven't picked them up yet, like myself. In my opinion, the gamepad is pretty good, but it's not the best gamepad or handheld controller in the world. I honestly would say only pick that up if you really need it. But that's the one to pick up, the actual arcade stick, the control panel. That one, in my opinion, is super awesome and totally worth buying. Links in the video description below. Give us a thumbs up on the way out, and thank you for subscribing.